If I could have everybody please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Roll call. Mayor Racy,
Here.
Mayor Pro Tem Porter,
Here.
Councilman Miller,
Present.
Councilman Webster,
Here.
Councilman Dowd,
Here.
Councilwoman Skiff,
Here.
Councilman Wagner.
Here.
Quorum is present. First item on the agenda is to approve the agenda.
Move to approve. Support Dowd.
Any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Item number 2 is city council minutes. 2A, regular meeting of February 18th, 2020.
Move to approve.
Support.
Any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Item 3 is presentations. 3A, Relay for Life, Miriam Cady.
Welcome, Miriam.
You can't tell why I'm here today, right? My shirt says it all. Thank you so much. I feel very thankful that you were gracious enough to let me speak this evening and put me on the agenda. And I will be trying to come more often for sure to talk about Relay. So I'm here to talk about Westland Wayne Relay for Life 2020. Our big event is on June 6th, 7th. It's at Central City Park in Westland. It starts at 11 a.m. and it goes for 20 hours, and we're done at 7 a.m. on Sunday. We're one of the few Relay for Lives that have kept our overnight, and we feel like it works for us, and everybody enjoys themselves as at the same time raising money for a good cause. So I'm just here to talk a little bit about it, to raise awareness, hopefully get people involved, yourself as the city council and anybody else in the community, of course, that would like to join as a team, help sponsorship, just help period, come and walk, whatever you feel, is pulling you to do that. We always need help. And it does take a team. You can't do it by yourself, and we appreciate any help that you can give us. Just to give you a few of our 2020 goals, we'd like to raise, our goal is $65,000 this year. And just to let you know, we were so very blessed to have raised over $70,000 last year. So we were very thankful for a lot of the support that we got. So we succeeded our goal. And our sponsorships, we'd like to raise at least $20,000. Registered teams at 38 and 300 participants. And to date, we have 17 teams that are registered. We have $6,000 in sponsorship, and we have 47 participants so far, and we have over $4,500. So we feel like we have a pretty good start. We have obviously a little ways to go, and we try to raise money throughout the year, even though it is just the one big event, but we're always thinking Relay and what we can do to succeed to our goal. Our first meeting date is on March 12th. It's open to everybody. That's our first team meeting that we get the procedure going on what comes next, how to help teams succeed and their goals, and how to get more people involved. So anybody's welcome to come to that team. It's on March 12th, and it's from 6:30 p.m. to 7:30 p.m. And it's at the St. Mary Cause of Joy in Westland on Wayne Road. And I also wanted to give you our website. So you can go on there, take a look at that, get fundraising ideas. And like I said, we would love to have everybody join in and do whatever they can. And this is just the first of hopefully a couple more times of coming, if you'll allow me to give you some updates and see if there's anything else that you have questions for me. But our website is relayforlife.org/Westland Wayne MI for Michigan. And I gave you each a card that has my number on it. And also Megan Shaper, who is our staff member at American Cancer Society, and she's done a great job, and she's so supportive. We're really thankful to have her and our lead team and everybody that wants to join in. We are here, it's no pressure. Like I said, we are enjoying doing the process at the same time of doing something that means a lot to us, and unfortunately has touched probably almost everybody in this room in some way or another. So anything that we could do to get closer to curing this horrible disease, then we are trying to do that. And with your help, I know that we can succeed. So I really appreciate your time this evening. Thank you so much, Mayor and City Council, and whatever, if anybody has any questions while I'm up here, I don't know if you want me to do that or not, but you do have my card if you
council
do.
has any questions.
If not, then you have my card. You can give me a call. Feel free to do so. Like I said, we'd love to have you at our first meeting, and if you can't make that, then give us a call and we can go over whatever you can do to help. We would appreciate that. Thank you. Have a good night.
Miriam, how many years have you been doing it now?
Since the beginning,
Yeah,
almost 21 years.
You've been doing it a long time.
Yeah, so I can't believe it when I say it. It doesn't seem possible, but I'm just thankful to be able to do that.
Yes, thank you for everything you
you.
do and caring about our community.
Thank you so much, too, Dwayne.
Thank you.
Item number 4 is closed session. 4A, adjourn to closed session to consider a personal evaluation of an employee under MCL 15.26A8A.
Wish the council.
Motion to adjourn to closed session.
Second.
Okay. Can I roll call vote, please?
Mayor Pro Tem Porter,
Yes.
Councilman Miller,
Yes.
Councilman Webster,
Yes.
Councilwoman Skiff,
Yes.
Councilman Wagner,
Yes.
Councilman Dowd,
Yes.
Mayor Racy.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Okay, we're now in closed session.
So we need a motion to close the closed session, please.
Motion to close the closed session?
Support. Dowd.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Item number 5, appointments to boards, commissions, and committees. 5A, approval of appointment of Pam Dobrovolsky of Biddle Street to the Commission on Aging until March 2023.
Move to approve.
Support.
Any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Five B, approval of reappointment of Scott Gochai, 34828 Michigan Avenue, to the Downtown Development Authority until December 2023.
So moved. Support. Dowd.
Any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Item number 5C, approval of reappointment of Walter Bender, 35131 Michigan Avenue, to the Downtown Development Authority until December 2023.
Move to approve.
Support.
Any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
Item number 6, general items. 6A, approval of waiving the 3% penalty on the winter tax bills for payments received after February 17th, 2020 through the end of the business day on March 2nd, 2020.
Move to approve.
Support. Dowd.
Katie, welcome.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. So as you recall from the December 17th meeting, a resident pointed out that we had conflicting dates on the front and the back of the bill. The front of the bill was incorrect. We sent out revised bills, but there was still quite a few people who said they either didn't get that bill or didn't read the back of the other bill. So I'm asking if you would waive the 3% penalty for anyone who paid after February 17th through the end of the business day on March 2nd.
Any questions from council?
The formatting, is everything been reviewed and we're good for the next go-round?
Yeah, it was, because it was a leap year, it kind of changed the dates from what they normally are.
Okay.
Through the chair, one question, how will these folks be reimbursed?
By check,
Okay, they'll be mailed to their homes?
yes.
Thank you.
Any other council members have questions on this item?
With it being a leap year, I'm wondering, will this be an issue again in 4 more years? That'll be a leap year too?
Yep. And was 4 years ago.
Ms. Pride?
If they mailed out a replacement for the ones that we had, I know I didn't get one, so I don't know who else didn't get one, but I did read the back. And I was at a meeting, I think here, that you said that they would be due on the 17th. And hopefully some people saw that. But the thing that I question is that when I came in to pay my bill, since the time that you knew that there was a mistake, why, as I was standing there, the lady went to a calculator with a tape on it, and she was figuring out my percentage of to pay over. And I said, don't even go there. And I don't know who came out of the office, but she came right over and said, no, she doesn't have to pay a penalty because of a mix-up on the front page and the back page and whatever. And they said, we're trying to straighten it up in the computer. That should have been done as soon as you found out that there was an error, so that there was not any confusion at the desk for the people. Thank you.
Okay. Ms. Rockwell, did you have a question? She got answered? Okay. Okay. Somebody in the back? Yes. Yeah, go ahead. I couldn't see you. I just saw your hand.
Yes, I also want to complain about that 3% you have to pay. The only choice they give you, if you didn't pay it yesterday, they were going to send it downtown. I was late on my taxes one time and had to go downtown. You better pack a breakfast, lunch, and dinner. You're going to be there all day. You're going to pay $20, $30 to park. And over that little bit, it just didn't make sense to me to argue about paying it. But they said they sent a second letter out. I don't know what the problem is with the mail, but I don't get mail for a week when everybody around me does, and then all of a sudden it's sitting on my porch, it's packed in my mailbox, falling out. My mailbox comes off the house while I'm trying to pull it out. The letter they sent out saying it was due February 17th, I got yesterday before I came in here to pay my bill. I went home to get the envelopes to find the stamp date on them from the post office. Don't you know there isn't one? But we have a real problem with our mail system. I get my neighbor's mail, they get mine. It's all up, it's all up and down the block, and that's been a problem for a long time now. But I just wanted to state that I was here yesterday with everybody that was paying and getting charged that amount, and I didn't think it was fair.
Thank you. And I would encourage people to go to the Westland Post Office if you have an issue with the post office and talk to the postmaster and file a complaint there, I mean, with that, because that's where you would go for that piece of it, okay? Yeah. Huh? You gotta go to the Westland Post Office, that's where the postmaster is. Anybody else?
I'm a lifelong resident of the city, and I did not look at the back of this bill. I just paid it the second on time, and I see now that it was the 17th. Someone spoke up and said when they found out that there was a mistake, they should have had it corrected, or this should have been double-checked by somebody so you don't have two different dates. And this happened to us, I think within the last 6 or 7 years, somebody else made a mistake. And I said something to the cashier, and she said, oh, it was a mistake with the computer. And I said, computers don't make mistakes. The people that program the computers make the mistakes. And she agreed, and then she said, she's the one that did it. So they were throwing the blame off. Just be truthful with us. And I think you will react with respect that way. So thank you for your time.
Thank you. Sure.
Okay. We do apologize for what has occurred, and Katie and myself and the staff met about this, and we did realize that it happened during the last leap year too. The same process had to happen where we have to collect, and the only way that we can waive those fees is by council resolution. We did try to figure out a way we could do it without having to do it that way, but that is the way that the city works, that's the way the ordinance works, that's the way the charter works. So we had to follow that. So we apologize for any inconvenience. And we will work very hard, and I know that the finance staff is here tonight, and they are great to work with. They're very understanding. Unfortunately, this is one of those unfortunate mistakes, but we are taking ownership for it, and we do appreciate your understanding with that. So thank you very much for that, and we will do our best to assure that doesn't happen again in the future. Thank you.
Any other questions? And Katie, I would like to thank your whole team for coming out here tonight to make sure that they're here to answer questions, so we appreciate that. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you.
Item 6B, approval of a resolution of support for the property owner of 39112 West Michigan Avenue regarding a future brownfield redevelopment plan.
Move to approve.
Support.
Good evening, Lori.
Good evening. Thank you. I've got something before you tonight that's a little bit unique. It's exciting. We have a new development coming. The 112 bars, I have a picture on the screen for you. You can all wave goodbye to it. It's going to be torn down. It has truly turned into a blighted property as it's been vacant for probably over a year now. A gentleman by the name of Cam Amici has purchased the property. I've been working with him for probably about 8 months now. He has gotten his electrical letter, I believe, from DTE to shut the electricity off. He's waiting on his consumer's letter. The city's turned his water off. He's going to demo the building. We would like this to be a brownfield site, and what that means basically is that he's going to get reimbursed for his demo costs, his due diligence, anything that's allowed under the Brownfield Act. You remember last year we formed a Brownfield Redevelopment Authority. And basically what that is, it's a great tool in our economic development toolbox that encourages restoration or redevelopment of blighted or functionally obsolete properties. This truly is functionally obsolete. Chances are it's going to come back as a facility. I would imagine there's some asbestos in there, given the age of the property. Based on the condition of the property, that will determine what type of reimbursement he will get back. Typically, what would happen is that the petitioner would come forward with a redevelopment plan. We would submit the plan to you. It's called the 381 Work Plan. However, he and I are talking to two national chains to locate on his site to build from new construction. That's his first choice. His second choice would be a retail strip. So we're really hoping for a national chain to go on that site. I called the state of Michigan and told them that I don't want to hold up his demolition, and you know how it is when you work with the national franchise. It takes a little time for franchising rights and to get answers. So what the state suggested I do was just simply put a resolution before the council, request a resolution stating that, yes, please take this blighted property down, and we look forward to getting your 381 work plan. It does not in any way guarantee that it's going to pass through the Brownfield Board or through this board. All we are doing is formally recognizing that he is going to be submitting a formal application for Brownfield reimbursement through the TIF, through the extra tax increment. And I can take any questions any of you should have.
Anybody on the council have questions? Any questions? Nobody?
Just question on the reimbursement. Is there a cap on how much or?
So basically what happens is there are eligible activities that are performed. There is not a cap, but there is a limit on what type of activities get reimbursement. I shouldn't say limit, there's a criteria for what activities can get reimbursed. So, for example, if he has to do site work, if he has to do environmental testing, any kind of remediation of asbestos, anything of that nature, those are activities that the state considers to be eligible for reimbursement. The new incremental tax dollar that's going to come on board as a result of the increased investment is going to be where that captures are going to come. And just so you all know, nothing will be coming out of the general fund for this. It's all in the DDA. So while we will get new revenue, he will get reimbursed through that part of that new revenue over a period of time.
Through the chair, Mayor, I would ask have you had a discussion with the new owner of what they would be intending on doing with that parcel in the future?
She already talked about that at the beginning.
Yes, sir. I just mentioned we're working with two national franchise chains right now. It takes some time. If that is not going to end up being an option, then he is looking at a retail strip center.
Mayor,
Yes.
is that Chick-fil-A?
I can neither confirm nor deny.
Had to go there.
Oh, yeah, that's good.
Anybody else on the council? Ms. Pride?
Does that also have a motel area to it where people can stay? It seems like that did.
It's down yonder a little bit.
A little farther down? Okay. So is that brown building in the back also part of the property?
Yeah. Mr. Clairman?
I'm wondering why this would be paid for by the DDA. Our basic understanding of the downtown is that it ends at the bridge just before the new dispensary relief.
That's not correct.
If downtown extends all the way out to 112, which is darn near at the edge of town, we've got two dispensaries that fall right in the middle of downtown then.
Yeah, I'll let him, yeah.
If that's part of downtown, great, but why do we have dispensaries there? If it's not part of downtown, why would DDA be on the hook for it? And the property owner already bought the property. As Lori said, they're already going to be demoing it. Why are we reimbursing them to fix their own property up?
Lori?
Those are great questions, Mr. Clairman. Thank you. That is not considered the downtown. As defined in the 2010 Downtown Master Plan, the downtown ends at the railroad tracks. So that's why there are no provisioning centers or medical marijuana uses allowed in our downtown. The downtown is truly defined as St. Mary's Church all the way down to the viaduct, prior to the viaduct. This property is not being paid for by the DDA. they're not paying the demo, what's going to happen is that extra dollar amount they pay in their taxes, they're going to get reimbursed for their development. And the reason that is that it's a great tool to use to assist investment. It's assist investment. So in other words, he's going to have, say, $2 million out of pocket. Maybe he can't afford that, but if he knows that he's going to get reimbursed $500,000 for his demolition costs, it's going to make this project more viable for him. He will continue to pay his taxes, and we will cut him a check back each year out of his own money. I hope that helps.
It does, thank you.
You're welcome.
Anyone else? Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Item 6C, approval of agreement with Collaborative Procurement Plus for approved government purchasing bid services.
Motion to approve.
Second. Wagner. Any questions from council?
Just, if I may, Mayor, I looked at the website, which procurement's my middle business name for work, so I thought this outline was pretty fantastic and gives you some pretty good dynamic tools, so I think this is fantastic as a solution.
Mr. Queen, would you like just coming up? If you want to just give an overview.
Sure. Good evening, Mayor, members of council. So basically, we have done this with, you remember the source well, it's the same type of the setup. What it allows us to do is that the bidding is already done for us for any products or equipment or things like that that we need to purchase. And so the reason we're going with this one here right now is to give an opportunity to one of our, for a future purchase. To allow, because they're not all on the same sites. Some are on My Deal, some are on Sourcewell, and some are on this site here. So we're kind of giving an opportunity to the vendors that we're looking at right now for a future purchase of equipment. So this will help in that process for that bidding.
Okay. Ms. Pride?
How much does that cost us?
Nothing. Free service. It's paid by the contractors. It's paid by the contractors that actually are part of that agency.
Any other questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Item 6D, approval of M Parks, Michigan Recreation and Park Association grant in the amount of $4,300 for enhancements to Gowdy Park. This grant will provide 6 ADA, Americans with Disabilities Act, compliant square picnic tables for the park.
Motion to approve, Dow.
Support. Skiff.
Any other questions? Any questions from the audience? I just want to say this is a really great opportunity for our community. I know for sure that this is a need with some of the people with disabilities that come to, especially the concerts that have a place that they can be able to interact with everybody. So I thank administration for going after this. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thanks, Ed.
Item 6E, approval of an agreement with No Sereni Strategy Group, LLC, for the city manager services.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Okay. Any questions? Okay. All in, Mike?
Mayor, members of council, I just have a statement to make. That since I've seen Lisa come in the city, I see her volunteering here on the weekends, spending her own money, the grant money that she's brought in, and I think she's done a fantastic job. Thank you, Lisa, and I hope it's 100% approval. Thank you.
Okay.
Good evening, Mayor and Council and citizens of Wayne. I wasn't expecting this on the ballot. I'm here, another issue, but I've had the privilege of working with Lisa and her whole team, Lori and the building department, Mike there on several projects recently, some sales and some prospective tenants moving in. And I got to tell you, they do a first-class job. They're very accessible and helpful and knowledgeable. I strongly would encourage you to support her and the team. And you got a great team, especially in Lori and Mike in the building department and led by Lisa. Thank you.
Anybody else? Do you, roll call, or does it matter?
Do you need, do you want roll
Yeah,
call?
let's do a roll call vote.
Okay, the motion by Councilwoman Skiff, supported by Councilman Wagner, to approve an agreement with Noserini Strategy Group LLC for city manager services. Mayor Pro Tem Porter,
Yes.
Councilman Miller,
No.
Councilman Webster,
Yes.
Councilwoman Skiff,
Yes.
Councilman Wagner,
Yes.
Councilman Dowd,
Yes.
Mayor Racy.
Yes,
Motion carries 6-1 vote.
great. Congratulations, Lisa.
Thank you. Thank you, Council.
Paul, I can't, there's gonna be, just in a little bit, we're gonna have some, where you can come up and talk. Sorry.
Moving the agenda. Number 7, administration reports.
Yes.
Okay, through the chair. Good evening. Thank you, council, for your support. I do appreciate it, and I look forward to working with this fantastic team. You have a great group here, and thank you for saying those kind words as well. You can't have a successful community without that team and without the people in these different departments that do such a fantastic job day in and day out. I've been a big cheerleader for all of them, despite what's been said. We get past that. We move on. Tomorrow's another day, and every day we just take on a new challenge and we work together to achieve that challenge and to do our best on behalf of the residents. First, I'm going to start with the city clerk's election update.
All I have this week is we will be open the Saturday before the election, March 7th, for election business. It's your last opportunity to get an absentee ballot mailed to you. And also on election day, the city clerk's office will be open for election business only. No dog tags and vital records. That is all.
Thank you, Tina. To go into a couple of different items, citizen comments. Last meeting, Tony Sanders had asked if the city is merging with the 29th District Court with Inkster. And we couldn't answer at the time. But the answer is that the city is exploring options, and there's been no decision on merging or consolidating with any other court. Again, the council is just exploring options. Mr. Osborne, at the last meeting, I apologize because you had asked in January about the Hubbard and about the vacation. I'm going to have Mike Byton address your question for you. If there's any follow-up questions that we missed, please talk to Mike, and we'll certainly make sure to have them answered.
Good evening, Mayor, members of the council. There was raised by Mr. Osborne the idea of when a street is vacated, what is the value of that street to the city? When subdivisions are created, streets are created within a subdivision for the use of the public or for the use of the city of Wayne. When the city of Wayne determines that that right-of-way is not useful to them anymore and they wish to vacate that land, there's the state of Michigan Public Act 288 of 1967 dictates how a vacated alley or vacated street reverts back to the adjacent property owners. There's no value in that for the city. We don't have any input as to how we could assign property. We have to follow the rules of the state regarding that. So some of the property on Hubbard Street will go to the adjacent owner on the west and the rest to the adjacent owner on the east, per the state law.
Okay.
And again, any other questions, I'd be happy to address those after the meeting. Yep, thank you.
After the meeting.
He can talk to him now, though, can't
Yeah, he could talk to you outside.
he? Certainly.
No.
No, after.
Not here.
Well,
Not up at the podium. You could-
he didn't, excuse me, he didn't answer the whole question that I asked.
As I stated, if there was something that he was not answered, Mike is more than willing to speak with you. He can speak to you out in the hallway.
I'm just saying. he
Okay,
didn't
thank you,
answer
Mr.
all the
Osborne.
question
And I'm
that I
offering for him to answer your
proposed
questions,
to
sir.
you there.
Thank you. So at the last meeting, Mayor, last meeting, Mayor Racy had directed me, in my position as city manager, to obtain a copy of a FOIA that Chris Sanders discussed at the last council meeting. It was stated that he had documents through a FOIA request that he made to Ramos, that he had documented information in a possession, basically in written form, that was between the city manager, myself, the mayor, and/or the city attorney, and the Romulus officials regarding the 29th District Court and specifically the 34th District Court. Mayor Racy had asked for a copy, and he was told to get his own copy, so I was directed to get that copy. If I may, Mayor, I'd like to read the response.
Yes, please.
The response was from Ann Lammers, who sent it to me on the 20th. It was a copy of a email that was sent to Mr. Sanders on February 14th, 2020. Dear Christopher, this letter is in response to your FOIA request for copies of any and all oral, written, or electronic communications specifically concerning the 34th District Court and the 29th District Court. This serves as a certificate that the public records do not exist under the name given or by any other name reasonably known to the public body. The City of Romulus does not have any records pertaining to your request. There was also, let's see here. Just waiting for me. There was also a question at the last meeting, and I apologize, Mrs. Bunnick, if the council wants to change the direction on that to the administration, you had asked a question about the March 24th study session and getting documentation ahead of time. Katie had told me that in the past, and I was mistaken, I apologize, that those documents were not normally shared with the public for a study session, because they're all basically draft documents for discussion. However, if the council would like to direct my office to approach that in a different way because it is their study session, I'd be more than happy to do so. So my apologies for the misspeaking on that subject matter. I just wanted to clear that up. Thank you for understanding. Exciting, really quick, the Veterans Memorial is taking off with sheer success. I want to thank everybody who has donated so far. The city is, the link is www.patronicity.com/memorial if you want to make a donation. Or you can make a donation at City Hall and it will still be counted towards the campaign. What's important about donating to the campaign right now for the Veterans Memorial is that the Michigan Economic Development Corporation has accepted us into their crowdfunding/patronicity program, and every dollar raised is matched dollar for dollar. So right now, if you go to the link, you'll see that there's just over $5,000 in there, so we've already matched that to 10. However, we still have $7,000 committed from different organizations and businesses around Southeast Michigan that are still coming in. So right now, I would say that we're really close to $14,000 and close to 28 as far as the match. We are trying to raise 30 so we can get to 60, but if we do not raise 30, we do get partial funding. So you can donate either way. But right now, every dollar is matched dollar for dollar. So thank you for your support so far. And then the last thing I wanted to say is that the next Parks and Trails meeting will be on Monday, March 9th at 6 p.m. at City Hall. And we're changing it a day before because of the election. And Eric, I just want to say welcome back to you. It's good to see you. We missed you at the last meeting. You do a really good, you do a great job. You're very committed to the Parks and Trails Committee, and I'm really glad that you're doing well. So welcome back, and please give my best to your families. Okay, that'll conclude my report this evening.
Thank you.
Public comments for matters not on the agenda. Pursuant to the Michigan Open Meetings Act and the enacted procedures and rules of City Council, now is the time for public comment. Any questions will not be answered this evening, but the appropriate person will make their best effort to respond by next council meeting or as soon as possible, provided you state or leave your contact information with the city clerk. Approach the podium and state your name. Please limit your comments to 3 minutes.
Thank you. Good evening, Mayor and Council and citizens of Wayne. My name is John Gochi, and I have a great program here that I want to inform the community about. It's called Motor City Heroes. It's a give-back program that I do with my real estate commission. So if somebody has served as a military active or retired law enforcement, first responder, healthcare worker, teacher, and union, I give them back 25% of the commission as part of the Motor City Heroes program. It's a great program. It's statewide in Michigan. You just sign up at motorcityheroes.com. And if you list or if I represent you as a buyer's agent, I give you 25% of my commission back. And the lender also does $500 towards the appraisal, so you get basically a free appraisal thrown in as well. It's a great program, and I strongly would encourage people to go to motorcityheroes.com and sign up for it. And thank you.
Thank you. Ms. Bunnick?
Good evening, Mayor and Council. A couple comments here. First of all, the vote on the city manager's contract, this isn't about the city manager. This is about how you handle it. We didn't hear any highlights. We didn't hear anything. What I'm wondering, and what I wondered since the board package came out, why, even though it was probably in draft form, why it wasn't included where people could see what that contract looked like. So now that it's passed, where is it? How is it available to the members of the public? I hope it's not FOIA. This should be a public contract, easily viewed by anybody that would like to have it for a reasonable fee from the city clerk. That's my question. We've done that before. We always see contracts that come before council for a contracted service. I don't understand why this particular contract, as far as contracts go, are any different.
Okay.
That's what I don't understand on that. Okay, next one. And I would like to know how we can obtain a copy. It's my hope, Mr. Mayor, that at the end of the evening, that you also update us on our ongoing court consolidation exploration. Last week, we learned that Romulus and Canton Township have agreed to join us in that exploration process. I would like to know where Westland is. And one more thing about the budget, JSOP. Thank you, Ms. Nurserini, for the comments on what I asked for before. I'm just wondering, and I can't recall in past years or present years, whether that study session has been televised. Yes, if we could do that, I would be exceptionally happy. Thank you.
Nancy Pride. I don't know if anyone has noticed, but the light right across from the fire department on the vacant property by the bridge is a strobe light. It blinks constantly. And for some people, that could send them into an epileptic seizure. The other thing is I want to know if the moratorium on the south side of our city, which is Wayne Road south of Michigan Avenue, is still protected from not having a bunch of used car dealers show up.
Mr. Gojek?
Good evening, Mr. Mayor, City Manager, and members of council. Scott Gochai on behalf of the Gochai family and US 12 and future entities of the city. If I could take a moment to applaud you all and encourage you all to keep working hard, find a way to work with each other, and keep finding a way to move this city forward. We're finally starting to get some steam again. We're starting to move in a good direction. Police department's doing great under Chief Strong. The fire department's doing good under Snyder. DPW under Ed's doing great. I mean, so we got a lot of positive things moving on, and you guys are, filling buildings. No more vacancies anymore. Parks are starting to have some things kids can go out. Let's keep the momentum up instead of trying to find a way to take the wind from under the sails. Keep it up. Oh, the cruise is in July, the first Saturday. 4th of July. We encourage you all to spread the word. Not with yourself, but just your friends. Let's make it a big thing and make it even better for the city.
Thank you. Mr. Powell?
I just got two things. One is Thursday is our fundraiser at Aubrey's in Westland for the first responders. It's from 11 a.m. to 10 p.m. And they've also, if you want to stop in and just get it to go, if you bring the flyer, they'll give you credit for that way too. They've made an exception for that. And the next thing would be April 13th. I'm bringing another Narcan training back to Hype from Wayne County. So I have 45 open spots. If you come to the meeting, you will get a kit. And they have you sign for the kit and everything through Wayne County. And that'll be at 2 p.m. on the 13th of April.
Thank you. Mr. Blackwell?
Good evening, Mr. Mayor, Council. It was mentioned about this court exploration. I'd like to thank Mrs. Pride and the other delegation of residents who showed up at the Romulus City Council meeting. We were received very well. The council there had some very good questions, genuine concern about this. And Mrs. Pride did a very good job speaking on behalf of this delegation. And Mrs. Pride failed to mention she also attended the Canton Board of Trustees meeting on the 24th. And they did accommodate her. And again, they had some concerns and questions also. So, yeah, just move forward with this exploration and please be transparent with us. Let us know because we want to save our court. I said it at the last meeting. That's not just my court. That's the people's court. So do your due diligence and please do everything you can to save my court. Thank you. And remember to vote next Tuesday, March 10th.
Okay. Mr. Russo?
Yeah, I'd like to say one thing.
Come up to the mic first before you start talking.
Hi, my name is Paul Russo with Wayne Industries, council members. I'd like to just say, since things have changed in the city, it's like the city's open for business. Years ago, it was very hard to do business in this town. Council members have changed, mayors have changed, managers have changed, clerks have changed, economic developers changed. It makes it a lot easier for business to come to this town, stay in this town, do business in this town, because you have an open door policy now. Before you came into this town, you knock on this door until you're red in the face. You couldn't get in. Now it's, come on in, what can we do for you? Your council members, your city manager, economic development person, Lori, you're making it so much easier for people, a business, to want to come to this town. I just hope you keep it like this and stay like this, because you have life in this town now. This has been a dead town for a long time. Now you folks have brought life to it. You're getting outside investments coming to this town. People are proud to come to Wayne now. They just don't drive through. They stop and spend dollars. And I just want to thank all you folks for doing a good job.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Hello, Jody Wallach from the library. We have a lot of events coming up in the next 2 weeks, so I want to share some highlights with you. Tomorrow evening, if you're maybe looking at doing some spring cleaning, we have a program called Tidy with Kate. She's certified in the KonMari method of tidying, which is the way that Marie Kondo does it on the Netflix show and in her book. So I know I could benefit from that. If you would like some tidying tips, that's at the library tomorrow at 6 o'clock. This Saturday, we have a program for kids on magnets where they'll learn all about the exciting things you can do with magnets. Apparently, you can pick up breakfast cereal with them. Starting next Tuesday, the 10th, we have, with a partnership with Healthy Wayne, a yoga series happening at the library. That'll be every Tuesday for the rest of the month at 5:30 p.m. At the library. And excuse my phone here, but this was too much for me to keep in my head. On Thursday, the 12th, we have a WASP program, which is the Women's Air Force Airplane Service pilots from World War II. The female pilots, I flubbed a word or two in there, but female pilots during World War II who flew out of what is now Detroit Metro Airport. And that is in partnership with the Wayne Historical Society. It's co-sponsored by them and the Friends of the Library. And then finally on March 14th, which is Pi Day 3.14, we have a program for teens all about pie. So we'll be tasting pie and playing some nerdy math games. And that's the highlights for the next 2 weeks.
Thank you. I'll go ahead in the back.
Hello again, I'm Yoli Von Scott, the film producer for the documentary series, The War on Vets. Very pleased with some of the things I'm hearing. A lot of attention for veterans, and I didn't know anything about this library thing. Tomorrow, I think, I'm meeting with a World War II veteran who turns 100. He is more lucid than I am, the amount of information that he has. I look forward to interviewing him, but the reason I'm here is I'm continuing to develop this documentary here in Wayne. My film director was born in Wayne, joined the Marine Corps in Wayne, went to Wayne Memorial. So to honor him and his service, I'm launching a documentary here for him. What I would like is anybody that has that kind of information, please come to me so I can attend these events to spread the information about the War on Vets. That thing about the library is awesome because I like to hear things about women who are veterans. And that's it. Thank you for your attention.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Shelton?
My name is Stan Shelton. I'm the president of the Wayne Chamber, but what I'd like to say first is I didn't think there was any question that Lisa was doing a fine job because I would see her on, she'll be here late for one thing. Another thing is you answered questions on Facebook, social media, whatever that was. But I think all of you guys are doing a great job because it used to be, and I'm not joking, the councilman would not talk to you. It seems like to me they would see you and they would sneak away. So you wouldn't see them, so you would not ask any questions. That's the way it seemed. But you guys are open. I don't know whether you cracking the whip there, John, or what? But anyway, you guys, yeah, I like that. Also, what's happened at the chamber, we have a coffee coming up on the second Wednesday of this month. It's going to be at the chamber office. I think it's the 11th this month. So stop by, everybody, have some coffee, donuts. We're going to have some donuts. If you call, you can make a reservation. We could get you your favorite if you want. So anyway, then on the 25th, the mayor has agreed to be our speaker for a luncheon, which is going to be at the Wayne Tree Manor. It's going to be 11:30 to about 1:30 or so. And we encourage everybody to show up. Enjoy. Thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else? Seeing none, go ahead and move the agenda.
Comments from members of City Council.
Councilman Webster?
Thank you, Mayor. Just a couple of things tonight. As it's already been brought up, March 10th is an important election for the city. We do have several ballot initiatives that are going to be up for a vote, so please inform yourself about those. I'm not going to sit up here and say one way or another. I think you should just vote the way that you think is going to be best for the city, and hopefully it all turns out well. Also, March is Reading Month, so if you have some time, please go to the local school, read to the kids, show them how important reading is, because it's something I know that they're definitely looking for. They're outreaching to those that are available to go do it. So if you can, please make yourself available. And with that, I'll pass.
Councilwoman Skiff?
Thank you. Tonight, council members and also the mayor had the opportunity to attend a ribbon cutting for Restoration Referee. So I just wanted to welcome them to the city, and it's so very exciting when we hear new businesses coming into the city. So just want to again welcome them and congratulate them as well. Wanted to also remind everybody that Councilman Wagner and I have a coffee hour coming up on Thursday, March 26th. It is from 6 o'clock till 7:30. Last week I said it was 6:30, 7:30 because I didn't make the arrangements, he did, but I know for sure now. It is 6 to 7:30, so for all those who can make it, we'd love to have you out. As many people as can come, we welcome everybody that can make it. We want to hear from you. Unfortunately, we didn't plan some things before March 10th, which is the election. We would have loved to have spoken to you about some of the ballot initiatives that we have on there, but that opportunity will not occur. But we will have some possible ballot initiatives coming up in August, and maybe we can talk about those things for you on that day. So also, I just wanted to also remind everybody, on April 25th, Wayne Main Street will be having their first cleanup. Again, if you can volunteer for that event, I attended it for the second 2 years in a row, and it's a great event. It doesn't really sound like it would be much fun cleaning up the city, but it's just a way to get out and do something good for your community, and also you get to meet people that you possibly wouldn't run into in the city at other times. So I made a lot of friends, and looking forward to it again this year as well. And I think that is it. That's all I wanted to say. Just one little note, if anybody really cares. I will not be at the next meeting. I will be in Florida celebrating with my grandmother her 90th birthday, but I will be watching. So I will miss you, but I will see you, I guess, in 4 weeks now. Thank you very much.
Councilman Miller?
Thank you, Mayor Racy. First of all, I want to remind, as well as everyone else has this evening, to get out and vote next Tuesday. Also, I want to bring up about one of the best fish fries that we have in our downtown area. They happen to be at the St. Mary's Church located on Michigan Avenue. It happens to be every Friday between 4 and 7, and it runs all the way to April 3rd. Also, in light of the tornado that hit Nashville, I thought it might be a good time to remind our community members that tornado season in Michigan, and it starts in April and it goes all the way to July. On average, we have roughly about 19 tornadoes in Michigan. So I'd ask you to refresh your memories with your family members on what actions to take in case of something of that nature would occur. Also, I want to remind everybody that we're fast forwarding this weekend, so you want to move your clocks up as well. And lastly, and I know this is something that people just don't want to talk about, but I think people need to start talking about and be educated, and it's about the coronavirus. And I think there's 3 simple things that we can all do right now, is to wash our hands, cover your cough, and don't go to work or stay home if you're sick. All right, and we'll proceed as we go with recommendations from the state. But I think let's just follow those practices, get used to those practices during this time, so we can minimize how it will affect our community. And with that, I will pass.
Councilman Dowd?
Thank you, Mayor. Eric, good to see you. I saw your post and concerned me, and certainly it's great to see you on the mend and here today. So, also, to kind of echo on what Councilman Skiff had to say, golly, I hope I never need this service, but a restoration referee with water damage, mold, fire, right around the corner off of 2nd Street, right across from what used to be the old Unistrut building, yeah. So, also, I have to keep the registration open and out there for Wayne Baseball Association, being that I was a coach for many, many years. Registration is open. Registration is March 5th. I believe they're doing it at the did you just say library? Okay, the library. Thank you. And that's at 5:30 PM. March 12th, 5:30 PM. March 14th, which I think is a weekend day, 12:30 PM. And March 19th, I'll leave it at that, which is 5:30 PM. So I think with that, I will pass.
Councilman Wagner?
Thank you. Go over some dates real quick. This Thursday, had a reminder, Lenny's fundraiser at the Aubreys, is that correct, in Westland, for our firefighters and policemen, is that right? And also Kelly and Mine's Coffee Hour, she already talked about that on Thursday, March 26th, library 6 to 7:30. Wayne Main Street cleanup, already been mentioned on April 25th. Now, next, we're all voting this Tuesday. Many of you have probably already voted and submitted your form. That's really good. For those of you who are still going to vote on Tuesday, I wanted to read the three city proposals. There's going to be a county proposal too for the Detroit Institute of Arts. I'm not going to read through that one, but I want to read the three city proposals in their entirety. This won't take long. Proposal number 1. Proposed amendment to Section 10.1I of the Wayne City Charter. Shall Section 10.1I of the Charter of the City of Wayne, Wayne County, Michigan, be amended so as to permit the extension of the levy by the city of an ad valorem tax in an amount not to exceed 1 mil for 6 additional years, commencing in 2020, for the purpose of paying for police and fire services. So that mill is already on your tax rolls, it's a renewal, and if you approve it, it will continue to only go toward police and fire services. Proposal number 2, proposed amendment to Section 6.3 of the Wayne City Charter. Shall Section 6.3 of the Charter of the City of Wayne, Wayne County, Michigan, be amended to make the term of office for the mayor of the City of Wayne 4 years rather than 2 years, beginning with the November 2020 mayoral election? So basically, the current mayor's term ends in November. If you vote yes on this, the next mayor's term will be 4 years. If you vote no on this, the next mayor's term will continue to be 2 years. Proposal number 3, proposed amendment to Section 7.1 of the Wayne City Charter. Shall Section 7.1 of the Charter of the City of Wayne, Wayne County, Michigan, be amended to allow the City Council of the City of Wayne to start their meetings between 6 p.m. and 8 p.m. on the first and third Tuesday of each month? So currently, we have to start our regular meetings at 8 o'clock. It's in the charter. There is no flexibility at all. If you vote yes on this, that will give us the flexibility to start these meetings a little bit earlier if we want to. The idea behind this was that we could allow some school groups or maybe some Boy Scout troops or something like that to come in to our meetings and lead the pledge or just do something fun like that. Also, people who work the early shift, oftentimes 8 o'clock's their bedtime. They're not coming to meetings. If we can start meetings early, that might open up a whole new opportunity for people to come to meetings where 8 o'clock would be too late for them normally. Okay? That's all. Thanks.
Mayor Pro Tem.
Thank you, Mayor. I had the privilege of attending at the courthouse on Friday, Judge Laura Mack's retirement. She had an open house at the courthouse, and we are losing one good judge. She will be there for a little bit longer, filling in here and there, I believe, but I'm sorry to see her go. Also on Friday, I had the very distinct honor of attending Avery Hall's ceremony. This gentleman is 84 years old, and he received his diploma from Wayne High. He served his country. He went to the military before he received his diploma, and they awarded him a diploma and a really nice service. It was really very, very nice. I want to thank the city manager for lining us up with patron cities for the Veterans Memorial. That doubling is really going to be great. You know, it's really going to help us out. So if you got $5 or $100, think about it, please. And last thing I want to say that, so in citizens' comments, I saw 5 people stand up here in front of us and say how open the city was now, how nice it was to come in and how the businesses were coming in, and they didn't they didn't have to fight anymore to get their businesses located. I want to thank the staff, the city manager, and my colleagues up here on the council for that, because that's what we are striving for, to make the city more open, to bring these businesses in. I have a lot of critics that say we don't do anything. They should have listened to tonight's meeting. They should have listened to these comments. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Mayor Pro Tem. I too, went over to our chief judge's retirement get together at the court on Friday with the Mayor Pro Tem, and definitely is going to be missed. She's been here for over 16 years and has done a great job for our community, and will continue to work with the Wayne 100 Club and the Rotary and other organizations, and continue to contribute. She is going to be missed in our community, and I wish her the best. As far as court consolidation, the question about Westland, like I said before, I've been very transparent about everything. I mean, that's why you were able to go to Nola Canton, you were able to go to Romulus. So far, the city of Westland is not interested, like they haven't been for the last 20 years. I mean, it shouldn't be a surprise that Westland's not interested to do something with our courts. I mean, this is something that they've told us continuous, and that's why we're looking at other options, because, we've been able to, we know for sure that they're not interested. But as far as this whole thing with our court, this is financial. The citizens of this community have said time and again, we do not support new millages. And they have tasked this council to figure out how to save money and do the best for this community. Unfortunately, when you don't have revenue streams, things get cut and things have to be looked at. This is just one of those things that we have to look at. I mean, essential services are the most important thing in this community, our police, fire, and DPW, in my opinion. And we need to be looking at this. We need to do, I believe, a valid exploration to look at this. But I do believe that we could save, at least $250,000 by looking at something like this. And we have to weigh those options. Is that worth it? Is $250,000 a year of savings help the bottom line of what we're dealing with? If people don't want to give more money, these are the things we're faced with. If you don't want to have these types of things happen, I would encourage residents to go and work towards trying to find revenue streams. If that means we have to put some type of millage on to the ballot, I would encourage the residents to focus on those types of things and looking at how we can help our city with revenue. We've been told over and over again that this city needs revenue. We're not cutting our way out. So until we get a revenue stream, things will continue to be getting diminished because there is nothing else. I mean, we're cutting things to the bare bone. I'm amazed. We have a great staff, and I don't think people really understand how great of a staff we have. They're working their tails off. And I've had residents say, for what we have to work with, they're amazed at what they're producing for us. And you should be very grateful for the staff that we have and what they're providing to us and our community. They're professionals, and they do a great job for us day in and day out. And they're not our servants. People act sometimes and treat them like they're second-class citizens. And we need to remember they work for us, and we should be proud of that. And we should do everything we can to make sure that our staff has the things that they need to be successful so that our city can grow and be stronger. I mean, at the end of the day, this is all about trying to make Wayne a better place, isn't it? I mean, we should be trying to make this a great place again. And, wow, I see that on somebody's shirt, make Wayne great again. That's what we're trying to do. I mean, we're working day in and day out to make Wayne great. And I would encourage residents to focus on those things. Look at how we can bring revenue to this city. That should be your task. That should be your goal. How can we bring revenue? Focus on revenue, because that's what they're telling us every single time. Please listen. We've been talking about this for years, and we need more revenue. We're maxed out, and we have $5 million in legacy costs every year, and it goes up $500,000 a year. I mean, this is not going away. When you have a $16 million budget, $5 million is going to legacy costs. That doesn't give you a lot of stuff to work with. These people are pulling out rabbits out of their hat. We should be grateful for what we're doing. We got people working their tails off, doing extra things all the time, trying to make sure we have programs when we don't have things. We have people going out and working in our parks, trying to make sure we have safe parks. We've got people working on our concerts in the park, trying to have events that we shouldn't even have because we don't have the money to make those things happen. We need to be looking at positive things in this community and find out how we can make things better. Please continue to look at how we can make Wayne better. Please look at revenue. This is what this community needs, more revenue. Help our community. If you really love our city, please help us find revenue. Thank you. And with that, could I have a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
Support.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.